Let's move on now to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in our training camp series and all the stories that Ryan and I feel are going to be the most important to watch, especially the top couple. But before we do that, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button and also ring the bell to get notified when we create new content. We're doing an entire training camp preview series of all 32 teams, including the Buccaneers, obviously. So be sure to check out all those videos when they come out. We also have a lot more content coming out throughout the entire preseason and also a weekly prediction video series throughout the entirety of the regular season. And if you want to get notified of all the Bucs prediction videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel and also ring the bell. It is the easiest way to get notified. And Ryan, let's get into it here.
Let's do it.
There's several other stories that we'll get into that we'll probably touch on at the end. But the number one story is going to be who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Buccaneers at week one. So I'm excited as a Falcons fan. That is either Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask. If I'm a Bucs fan, I wouldn't be super excited that those are my top two options as well.
Yeah, those aren't just your top two options. Those are your only two options, it sounds like. Unless you guys trade for somebody else. But I don't think people are exactly giving away high-value quarterbacks at this stage of the year. So, for me, we talked a little bit about this before the show. And, Baker Mayfield, I think, has kind of become the new journeyman quarterback, right? He's the newest one to join that fraternity, and it's not exactly one you want to be in. But the Kyle Trask debate, some people are like, well, Kyle Trask gets the starting job. You don't really know because we haven't really seen him. But my big thing with that, and this is your point that I'm going to say here, but we haven't heard any rumblings of Kyle Trask being good outside of some maybe a few hopefuls every now and then, right? The analogy that I used was when Jimmy G was in New England, there were a lot of people. This kid behind Tom Brady has something.
Didn't they actually re-sign him to an extension?
No, they traded him at the trade deadline on the fourth year of his rookie deal because he was a second round pick.
Okay, that's what it was.
But there were rumblings there. There was some talk that this kid could be really good, and it's just you haven't heard any of that with Kyle Trask, right? He just hasn't generated any buzz in that locker room or in that media network, and if he has, it's been very quiet.
That's me, and I think too with Baker Mayfield, you know what you're getting. So yes, Trask has been in the league for a couple of years, but it still just doesn't feel like it's the same as with other future young quarterbacks that take over a franchise. Even kind of was like that with Aaron Rodgers a little bit, Jordan Love also as well. You kind of you can see okay, this kid deserves a shot. And there's some optimism here. Not saying that there's not optimism, but at least with Baker Mayfield, he also brings an energy and charisma, I think, to a team that not too many players in general. He has something that I think can add a little bit more than what Kyle Trask can bring. But also that means I need to see more of Kyle Trask. But Baker, you at least know what you're going to get. But I agree with you. He's starting to turn into that kind of journeyman quarterback, kind of similar to Andy Dalton, former first-round pick, a little less hair, but a little less red hair. And I think that he's going to be fine. You got a good receiving core with him. You need to improve your offensive line. And I would rather, if you have an offensive line with question marks, have a veteran quarterback back there than a young quarterback who you think still has promise. But still has a lot of development to do. Then just absolutely just get him clobbered every single week. And so that to me is obviously, I think, the number one story for the Bucs. It's going to be. I'm probably leaning towards Baker Mayfield. And I think that's not only who I would select, but who I think will be the starter as well. Just because you saw him last year travel around.
He had moments.
Was he on 3 different teams last year? I'm trying to remember. The Browns, Panthers.
Well, he was with the Panthers in the offseason. He started on the Panthers and he got traded to the Rams.
Yeah, okay, it was just 2 teams. It was just 2 teams then.
Yeah, but he was he got traded to the Panthers in July, I believe.
Yeah,
it was a late trade.
So you could talk. That's why it felt like 3. this is the only story that matters to me within the Bucs offseason.
Yeah.
Their defense is going to be shaky, and I've seen that they are getting older on defense. It'll be fun to see how Khalid Kancey develops. But offensively, they still have a lot of the same skill position players. Mike Evans, his career might be starting to wind down, coming into his 9th or 10th year. He was drafted in 2014. And so Chris Godwin, will he be able to bounce back to the pre-ACL tear form? I hope he does. He's really fun to watch. And then other than that, though, running back room led by Rashad White.
The other
vanilla.
The other story that I want to watch is this offensive line and how that kind of develops. Donovan Smith, Shaq Mason, and Josh Wells, who all started for them last year, are gone. Tristan Wirfs is officially the starting left tackle on the depth chart now. And then they drafted Cody Mock in the 2nd round. And so I just think that's going to be really interesting to watch, kind of how they fill those holes there. Is Cody Mock going to be at right guard, right tackle? And we'll probably get a really good look at that in their training camp as a fan. So that's going to be really interesting to watch. That offensive line was atrocious last year, mostly due to injury. I think Donovan Smith got hurt in week 1, and then Ryan Jensen shortly after that.
No, Ryan Jensen, I think, was
preseason?
Yeah, it was a training camp one. I remember seeing the video. Have you seen the video of it? So you don't see the leg, but it gets from far away in this field, and then you just see this grown man screaming in pain. And also, too, probably a lot of frustration. And then all the other players got really quiet throughout the entire field. Because they knew oh shoot, that's Ryan. Jensen. And that was kind of the beginning of the end of the offensive line success last year. And it was a long end. It was a long finale. For that, because the offensive line did just struggle throughout. It affected Tom Brady because he just did not. He's a guy that needed time, and he did not.
Well,
time at all.
The kryptonite of Tom Brady is getting pressure up the middle, and it's once when he went down, it was just they couldn't stop anybody from getting up the middle. So. That's going to be an interesting story to follow, but not a whole lot of buzz going on around the Buccaneers is the past 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, which is kind of obviously a lot less buzz, because I think this is not one of the worst overall talent on the field rosters, just on paper. I've got to probably give that to the Cardinals or maybe the Texans, but. In general, though, there's not a lot of optimism just because they losing Brady, then losing a lot of key pieces on defense, and then they're just older. They're just older. So it's just almost kind of like Father Time is kind of
caught up with them a little bit. Also, I don't have as much faith in Todd Bowles as I did the couple seasons ago. So
we'll just have to see. We'll have to see. This division's definitely gettable for them if there's a saving grace. Maybe we'll just take 8 wins again to win the division. So you figure out 8 wins. That would be huge.
Yeah, definitely. But let's go ahead and wrap up the Tampa Bay Buccaneers training camp preview there. Sorry, that was a mouthful. But go ahead and like and subscribe and leave a comment down below on what you think of the Buccaneers in 2023. You think that they're going to be good and be competing for the division title again, or do you think that they've officially entered a rebuild and probably need to move on from a lot of the key veteran players that they have on their roster? Let us know down below. And other than that, we will see you guys next time.